Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, so I've changed some things. I'm already looking at this. Well, my quality here. Why does it want to do that? Let me change my quality of my player. Okay, so you might have to adjust your quality of your video player, but you guys should be getting less delay now. So, cool, right? Oh, I see Win is back. Hope your weekend was pleasant. Not be hanging around this morning. Say hi to Ace and Lucas and everyone else. All right. Well, I'm not too impressed with the movement that we've had overnight. Let's come over here to the charts and look. So yesterday we had a wait. Was that yesterday? Yeah, okay. So there was a big move down in the overnight session. During the regular session, we didn't do a whole lot, but we did eventually fall apart. It was actually looking for a moment like we were going to recover that, but we didn't. At least during our time. They tried and failed, basically. So then you see the same thing here in Treasuries. We moved higher. Now we're kind of, ranging. We did clear this naked point of control. There's one below us now. There's one way down there. And the market is pointed down. So, and then we got to come in here for check news. Well, that's last week's news. Okay, so today, Tuesday, we have CPI. So big number today, so we should have a decent amount of trade. Tomorrow, not much. Philly Fed on Thursday. Friday, consumer sentiment and housing starts. So I don't know. We don't have as much news this week, but there is still some global uncertainty out there, especially around Hong Kong. We'll see what happens. Donald Trump, Kurt Schilling, a great pitcher and patriot, is considering a run for Congress in Arizona. Terrific. Okay. And Zero Hedge pointing out that Elizabeth Warren has now moved up and is almost on par with Joe Biden as the winner. I really don't think that she's going to win. I really don't think so. Well, if I'm completely wrong about that, that's going to call into question my predictive abilities over in politics. But I don't think she's going to win. If she wins, she can't beat him. She is extremely unlikable. Live action says, I hope not. Yeah, I hope not too either. Like, the thing is I'll look at Elizabeth Warren and it's like, oh, okay, she has some interesting ideas. They won't work, but at least they're interesting ideas and she's a serious person. But then you look into her ideas and she is like a control freak. Like, she's just straight up a control freak. And she would be like she put in place all of her policies that she can from a executive order, sort of a thing. She'll do executive orders and then all of her policies won't work. And instead of saying, oh, my policies don't work, she will say, it's the evil capitalists' fault. We need to do something about those evil capitalists. And then they start doing the same shit that they did in Venezuela. You watch. That's how it works. This is, really, the true pattern, the person you want to look to see the pattern is Stalin. Okay, what did Stalin do? Oh, he would implement a policy and it wouldn't work. Oh, it's those evil capitalists' fault. It's the Cossacks' fault. We need to take care of the Cossacks. And so they liquidated the Cossacks. That's what happens. In Venezuela, they put in policies. Didn't work. Oh, it's the evil capitalists' fault. We have to nationalize all the industries. That's how it works. I think Kamala Harris will pull ahead. She may pull the female voter, and she has a masculine energy that is acceptable. She is a bit colorless like Will Smith, and she is smart. I don't know. So I tell you what, something that happened was I had a bid in for Kamala Harris from the last debate, and it didn't get filled. So there was an opportunity to make money there, and they went off without me. And I just left it in there. So then after this last debate, it came down and it hit me. And they're just kind of wavering around within 1 cent of where I got in. And so I am long Kamala Harris. But that said, it appears that a lot of the black vote like really abandoned her after Tulsi took her to task. So based on that, I think that Kamala Harris would also have a very difficult time getting to the nomination. I think that you're probably more likely to see Biden, Bernie, or Buttigieg. There's a push to consider the Democrats as one size fits all. They are discussing ideas and not all socialists. That's the new slogan. Instead of I like it's they are socialists. No, yeah. But honestly, none of them, they're all pushing socialist policies, though. I mean, well, the ones in the lead, at least. They are like really threatening that low and not doing it, and I'm not getting any kind of indication that they're going to stop here. Oh, what news sources do you listen to? Well, so I check the one like website that I check a lot is CNBC. Okay. And I would recommend that you do the same or check Bloomberg or somebody like that. And the reason is because even though they certainly have their bias, especially when it comes to politics, they actually serve a client that has a need for the information as opposed to, so it's not just entertainment for them, right? People make money off of this stuff. And so that's why I would recommend using financial news. But then I really, really like to read Reddit. And so I'll read everything that pops up on there, which means that I'll read a lot of the stuff that the Donald Trump supporters put out on their subreddit. That is a lot of it. Quite frankly, most of the stuff that they put out there is the stuff that is not being displayed on other mainstream news channels, which means that most of the stuff that they're putting is unverified and complete nonsense. And then on the other side, I get all of the uber liberal stuff that, like their activist blogs and stuff like that out there. So I kind of read the extremes and they use the business news and Twitter, of course, but I don't watch the television. Almost never. Almost never. Do you know how to check your chat for bots? Well, so if bots come in and comment on your video, Facebook is pretty good at recognizing it. And I mean, they almost always try and include an email in there. I kind of just let them do it because it boosts the video. So I usually don't mark stuff as spam unless it's like annoying spam. So yeah. Anyways, I was gonna say the three that I don't like, and it's kind of funny because they're all guys, right? But Biden, obviously Biden, he's the centrist. Okay, so that automatically puts him up. The centrist always does well, right? Pete Buttigieg, I think, has some real potential. Of course, because he's gay, he has some problems with the African American community. But honestly, I really think they'll get over it. I'm telling you, when push comes to shove, to win the nomination, they'll get over it. I think so, but we'll see. I think they could get over that. And then Bernie. So the thing with Bernie, when you look at the statistics, Bernie's fan base, like 60% of them say they will definitely vote for him. 60%. It's kind of funny, like, because Bernie has fallen in the polls, but the amount that he fell, that is his floor. Those people, they're not going to vote for anybody else. Straight up, they will not vote for anybody else. Whereas Warren, it's like the exact opposite. 60% of them are saying that they might switch to somebody else. So I think that if Elizabeth Warren gets up in front, she may appear very unlikable and people will leave her and Bernie will come back out ahead on that one. Because she is just not likable. But they haven't really put her in a position where that really comes out. But once she goes head to head with the big boys, like when it's her versus Joe Biden, it's not going to be pretty. Okay, so here we got the news coming in 5 seconds. Da, 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 da. Okay, big move. Mm-hmm. Nope, I guess not. Okay, CPI was 1.8 versus 1.7. Okay. Unlike that tick it back up, but when they ticked back down, there was a bunch of movements, so I think maybe I'm okay. Nope. They're gonna bust it again. Making this incredibly difficult to hold on to. Darn. Is that number, am I reading that number correctly? Spot 3 versus spot 3. Core CPI spot 3 versus spot 2. Higher than expected. Should move us down, but I suppose it's not necessarily like the end of the world, is it? They did not. Oh, they did touch it. They went right to that naked point of control and stopped at 31. At 130.01, rather. But I think that they could go a little further. Well, they must know I'm in because it's just not going anywhere now. Ooh, there you go. So we were just looking at the CPI. That was the CPI that got released. Okay, a couple of comments here. Volatility options. Do you listen to the candidates speak like interview for a half hour? So those out of context clips are confusing now with all the editing going on and time constraints. So I haven't seen any interviews that were super long lately, but when a popular clip comes out, I usually do watch the whole thing. Ooh, look at that. It's not going? That was interesting. Okay, now he's absorbing it down there at 015. Touched that low again, but they didn't make a new low. There was a reload, and they went up. Hmm. Getting something in the 5-year here. Are they going to go lower? No, they're having a hard time doing that. Yeah. 1/2 wants to hold. And I'm getting an event in the 5-year, so I need to get out. Unfortunately, I would have liked to have held that for 8, but it's telling me that we're done. So where did I take that first one? 025? You know what? It was an okay try. It was going fast. Of course, now that I'm out, they're going to just plow down there. Well, I tell you what, I got some food here. Did not finish my breakfast. I should probably do that. I'm looking at this. I'm seeing a signal in the 5-year. So they might continue down for a little bit, but I think they were probably going to see a turn here. FOMO. That's I think what that was. See, if I had gotten filled on that, I would not be happy. Do you like your president? Can you safely say that online Insider magazine? I haven't read it. I am Spartacus. Man, that thing when they were doing the whole Kavanaugh hearings, I tell you what, Cory Booker, his behavior during that whole episode I thought was disgraceful. And it's surprising to me that he's running for president, but he hasn't done very well, so whatever. There was some large offers down there. You see that? Do you see that right there? Jiboom. Golden buy signal in the 5-year. That's why I was hesitant to take it. I thought maybe there could be a little bit more in it, but then it didn't tick down. Canceled it. Ticked up. The president of Brazil understands nothing about economics, but his team, yes, he himself is just an idiot. What people wanted to hear, I made money with the stock up. That's interesting. I have a thought on that, but I think I should eat some food first, okay? So I'll be back in just a second. Well. I think we should have bought that low down there in ZF, huh? Talk about a move. I thought Chris was Frito also. The truth hurts. They totally lost low ratings. Oh, that's not what's moving us. Zero Hedge mentioning that Fed futures show less 2019 easing post CPI was only spot 3. It wasn't. That's not amazing. Well, now you're getting something to the other side. Probably not quite time yet. Let's watch it. All right. One says breakfast for me was juice and buns. My son brought home from pizza. Oh, that is an awful breakfast. That is so bad for you for breakfast. That's so much sugar. Oh man. So live action says my word for the day is initiate. Why the big boys initiate entry before everyone else. You know what we should do? This is going to be really dumb. You guys probably aren't going to do it, but we'll just go along with it, right? We should have a secret word, right? You know, like Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse, right? So today's secret word is initiate. So if anybody says initiate, if I say it or in chat, or maybe we read a tweet or something like that, then everybody in chat should just go crazy. All right. Well, maybe we'll try it a little bit later. We'll see if you guys are on your toes. Okay, so I promised you a thought. Our natural tendency as voters is to think, I should go and find the person that seems to understand what's going on, wants the policies that I want, and vote for them, because in that way, you're going to have somebody in there that knows what they're doing and will do the right thing. Right? That's the way most people think, right? You ever hear people saying, oh, here's a little quiz that will tell you who you align with best ideologically. Secret word, initiate. See, you have to go crazy. You're not. See, you guys, try it again. See if later, everybody in chat, you got to go crazy if somebody uses the word initiate. I don't know. That could get like really out of control quickly. But anyways, here's the thing. I don't think that's the way you want to do it, because the problem when you get an ideological person in is that they do not see reality, right? You ever get notice this thing where we'll have somebody come into chat and they'll say, they're really bearish things. This administration is crazy. We're printing too much money. This is just a house of cards that's about to fall down. And they're ideologically caught in this thing that this market shouldn't be moving up. And that person, and I've seen them over the past 10 years, they lose money, and then they disappear, right? How many times has that happened in the past 10 years? Maybe this time might be different, obviously. I think things are different because the yield is down and all that, right? But how many times have you seen that? And why does that happen? Because they are so caught up ideologically in what they think the markets should be doing that they ignore what it is doing. And leaders do that too. That was Stalin. Stalin wanted control. That was his thing. He wanted to control everything. And he would come in and he would say, okay, here's this brilliant economic idea that I had when I was, a young activist, whatever. What did they call him? I forget what they called him. Gobert or something. Yeah. So the robber. It was like a Robin Hood sort of a thing. Anyways, he wanted control. And so he would come in and he would put in some sort of market reform, like price controls or something like that. And then it wouldn't work out economically. And so what would they do? They would go in and they'd take the next step and they'd try and control more things. And it was always like further and further and further. And it basically turned into, in the Soviet Union, we have a 10-year plan and we want this to happen. And then when it wasn't happening, they just fudged the numbers to make it look like it happened. Because otherwise the government was going to come down on them and it was going to be a bad time. Right? Anyways, you don't want a leader like that in there. You don't want a leader that really thinks he knows what he's doing, frankly. Or that really does know what they're doing, frankly. You want somebody that will recognize the right things when he sees them, but the presidency in it really is so much bigger than one person now, right? There's this whole executive office, and the biggest thing that has an impact on, say, the economy are the people that he chose. Donald Trump, he's made a lot of really poor personal decisions. But I have to say that his economic team that he has right now, Larry Kudlow and the rest of them, are top notch. And they have done a really good job with this market. Donald Trump knows a little bit about interest rates. He knew enough to be able to find the right people. But that was it. He's not a financial genius. He's not, right? All I'm saying is having somebody in office that doesn't necessarily know what they're doing is not exactly a bad thing, right? Because it shouldn't be to one person. One person shouldn't have that much power. That's crazy. I should clear this. Moving up. And, the things that do seem to matter are like, okay, when there's some sort of a crisis and the United States has to go to war to protect its interests, is the president able to get on television and give a good speech that gets the American people behind what we need to do as a country? Those are the sorts of things that make good presidents. Think about Abraham Lincoln, okay? Gettysburg Address. That's the thing that he's most famous for, is the Gettysburg Address. But if you watch that movie, Lincoln, to get that amendment passed, they did all sorts of nasty things. like the honest truth is that Abraham Lincoln did a lot of things that he probably shouldn't have done. Quite frankly, when we look at it from like a constitutional standpoint, he did a lot of things that he probably shouldn't have done. because he wanted to get rid of slavery, which is good. Don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying from a constitutional standpoint, he did a lot of things that he shouldn't have done. But why was he able to be a good president? It was because he was able to get the people behind him. It wasn't necessarily because of his masterful policies. So anyways, when I do politics, like local politics, I don't pick the person that has the policy proposals that match mine. It is a very, very poor. How many times have you voted for a politician like, oh, I want that they say they're going to do this and this, and those are the policies that I think are the best, and then they disappoint you? How often does that happen? Policy is not indicative of a good candidate. It is not. 100% it's not. What I do is I will go and I will meet them and I will look at how they interact with people. And if you've got somebody that knows how to deal with people, knows how to find the right person that does know what's going on and will make good changes and can make positive changes in an organization, and these are rare people, but they are out there and they are very good at it somehow, that's the person that you want. That's the person that I go and I look for. And what their policies are doesn't matter to me. Because I found that half of the success is not the policy. You can have one country implement a policy and it works really great, and another country implement the same policy and it be a complete disaster. And it would all come down to all of these other factors, because economics is just really complicated and difficult to predict. Modern politicians and their Keynesian enablers despise the gold or silver standard. This growing anti-Fed sentiment is one of the key factors behind the Liberty Movement's growth and represents the most serious challenge to the Fed's legitimacy in history. This movement has made audit the Fed into a major national issue that is now closer than ever to being signed. No, sorry. I probably will if it's the current Democrats. So I was thinking about this the other day. Because this thing going on in Hong Kong, so I'm seeing a lot of action here. And it's kind of going back and forth, and I just don't like this spot. And I think that I should just give it some room and some time for maybe 30 minutes. Anyways, this thing in Hong Kong really, really bothers me. And I feel like if the West allows China to move into Hong Kong and do a modern Tiananmen Square, that to me would be the biggest foreign policy blunder, appeasement fiasco since Neville Chamberlain. I don't know if it quite surpasses Neville Chamberlain because, that World War II thing, that was pretty awful. But come on. It's bad. And yesterday, Donald Trump, the administration kind of said that it was like their problem. We expect China to be nice, but it was almost like a green light to go in or something. Really bothered me. And if they go in and the administration doesn't do anything about it, it'll probably be the biggest disappointment politically of my life. If he didn't stand up to them and do anything. But I still wouldn't vote for a Democrat. So, I mean, I could vote for a Democrat, but I'm not going to vote for any of the Democrats that are up for the nomination right now. Because the policy might not matter unless it's, they're pushing something that's socialism, right? So that's my thought. But there was something else more important that I wanted to get at, and that was the Federal Reserve. Because you got to remember, some people benefit from high interest rates, okay? If you're on fixed income, you're older, you benefit from high income rates. High high percentage rates. Okay. If you are an entrepreneur, you're starting a business, or you want to buy a house, you benefit from low interest rates, right? So anytime that the Federal Reserve changes interest rates, there's going to be a portion of the population out there upset about it. And so they basically always end up being the whipping boy, even though they are basically following a set formula about how to manage the economy. That is the most effective way of doing it that we know of as of now. And we're constantly improving. And I hope that someday we get it down to as much of a science that there's just really not a lot of economic volatility unless there is like a natural disaster. That would be awesome. Probably never get there because recession is the way of the world, right? It's just, you can't avoid it. That's just the way, that's nature. That's life. But it's going to happen, right? And that's why you have to have some sort of a contingency plan when things don't go well. Man, okay, you buy that one. Jeez. This thing about the Federal Reserve, like audit the Fed, totally opposed. And here's why. Because they don't want to audit the Federal Reserve. Like the whole thing is they say, oh, they have this money. Don't you want to know what they're doing with it? Whatever. They tell us. We know. They don't necessarily tell you if they make a bailout loan to a bank. They don't say so at the time because if they did, everybody would know and the market would go crazy and would sell that company and it would completely ruin the point of trying to save that bank, for instance, right? But they tell us after the fact. We know what the Federal Reserve is doing quite well. And they audit themselves. They do. They have professional audits and you can go and look at the results of the audits. So if that's true, then ask yourself, what are they trying to do with this audit the Federal Reserve thing? Well, I'll tell you what it is. The politicians want control of interest rates. That's what it is. The audit the Fed, when you look at the language of it, it basically allows them to audit rate decisions so that they can overturn them. That's what that's about. Which is just an absolutely terrible, terrible idea. I am not on board with that at all. The last thing you want to do is give politicians control of the interest rates because they will manipulate it to their advantage just like everything else. And at least with the way that it is in the Federal Reserve, at least you have a chance of, it being independent. Well, they seem to want to sit there at 06.5. I don't know if it's going to go or not, but this tends to be a good up signal lately. In that kind of context, it could totally pull and just be a disaster. Let's not act like it does the same thing every time. Okay, so they sold it. And he took it all. But then they took all 5.5 with only 600. I don't know about that. Well, that was not right. You know what's going on here? Is I have this strategy and my stop volume is way too low. Because that should not have happened. Anyways, the other thing, but it's always Ron Paul and his son. Can you explain the colors in the you mean the blue and orange? Doesn't mean anything. It tells you if blue is supposed to be for up bar and orange is supposed to be for down bar. But because we're in a one range chart, they kind of don't really tell you a whole lot. So they're just there to look pretty. Politicians mess up everything they touch. A bunch of dumb kids who couldn't make it on their own, so they ran for office. Oh man. Wow, I'm surprised they hit me like that. I'm getting a good signal here. In fact, I think I could double down on this one. Yeah, I mean, you don't want to put the politicians in charge of it. And then here's the other thing is you don't want to go back to the gold standard. Like this is something that just boggles my mind that people want to go back to the gold standard. Like, okay, guys, we were on the gold standard for a really long time. You know why we got off of it? Because it sucked. There was so many problems with the gold standard. I'm just flabbergasted that anybody wants to bring that back. Like before we had the Federal Reserve, like in the 1800s, man, that period of time in the 1800s where we had no central bank because they got rid of the Bank of the US, it was complete economic disaster every 5 years. It was like a 2008 level crisis every 5 years. Is that what you want? It's without a control on the monetary supply, you basically just run into boom and bust. Ron Paul, McConnell, and the Leprechaun, I want me gold. Yeah, and the thing is if you go on to a gold standard, now what you're really doing is you're putting control of the monetary supply to everybody else. So if Russia wants to do something mean and hurt our economy, they can just flood the world with more gold and affect the monetary supply and basically cause economic damage. Can you imagine if we go into a trade war with China, for instance, if this really goes further, we can bring our interest rates down to zero and we can print money, and that will offset the damage, or at least it will give us a softer landing. Okay, but if we were on a gold standard, then China could just sell their gold and force us to tighten. Essentially, they could literally force us into a depression / complete economic collapse. The gold standard, in my opinion, is like the flat Earth theory of economics. Nobody that knows anything about economics believes in the gold standard. In my opinion, it's just not a serious thing. And yeah, like the fact that Donald Trump nominated somebody right now that believes in the gold standard to be on the Federal Reserve Board is kind of frightening to me, because nobody that knows what they're talking about supports the gold standard. Just my experience. Anyways, so that's my rant. Good morning, Ace. Ace of my Tango Heart. Okay, so we did get the 2 ticks up. It was a good entry. Can move that. I'm wondering. I'm not getting continuation or any kind of a sign of a new high. And we're getting another bar, which is kind of interesting. Good uptick. That time they stacked 900 at 06.5. We must behave. Yes, please. Let's be professional. If you wouldn't do it at work, don't do it here. Hu Shixin. It is hoped Hong Kong can restore order by itself. That is the best end. If the development of the situation suggests there is no hope, Beijing's intervention will be inevitable. It is a hard choice, but once it becomes a decision, it will be a firm one. And Trading Floor Audio says, Editor-in-Chief of Chinese and English editions of the Global Times, sometimes seen as mouthpiece for the Chinese state, is warning about Beijing intervention in Hong Kong. Well, I actually view this as a positive, because that they're saying that means that they're not ready to go in just right now, even though there are buses like literally on the border, and it scares me and it upsets me greatly. It upsets me greatly. If I was in charge, like especially in the UK, I'm surprised that the UK isn't saying if you drive military vehicles in there, it is war. That's what they should be saying. I know that I'm crazy. And that maybe in the larger scheme of things that these people probably understand a lot more about the situation than me and probably understand why that's probably like a foolish thing to say. But man, that's just how I feel. So they should not allow them to go in there. Man, I've been on a tear today. I should probably calm down. See if we can get an uptick here, please. What was Ace saying? Oh, 2873. 2873 for a short. Actually, it's not quite. It's saying maybe. There's a good uptick. Oh, wait, did I do that? No. Okay. So the way that we did this was it needs to be there. Okay. Okay, so I'm noticing right away that there appears to be some correlation between treasuries and the E-mini at the moment. Treasuries appear to want to be going higher. It's interesting. They've been increased. There's been a lot of activity almost every step of the way here in the 10-year. You might look to the consumer good farm. Well, of course, farmers are not doing well. Yes, I'm quite aware of that. And, we'll talk about the trade war, but there's a lot of reasons that the farmers aren't doing well, right? So, for instance, in China, they have a swine flu, right? So, even if we weren't having the trade war, China wouldn't be buying as much, you know? There's a couple of other things going on, but yeah, the situation is not good for farmers right now. Wouldn't necessarily be a bad time to invest over there, though, if everything's down, right? Okay, so there's a good tick back up. And they dashed it down. That's interesting. I think corn may test 373. We initial target 464. Interesting. So 373 for those of you guys that aren't aware, that's like $3.73 a bushel. Man. I think it was too early, Ace. Ooh. Okay. Interesting. China had a ban on mad cow disease. This administration asked the Chinese to consider. The FDA changed the rules on the age of baby cows, holding back the young cows, but do not do that anymore. China is in contract negotiations to buy beef pork from other countries. Well, yeah, probably. I mean, honestly, with all of the other things that's going on with China, I really don't see why wouldn't continue. That they continue to put tariffs on, and that American businesses will continue to divest themselves from China. So if I was running manufacturing that was based in China, I would be panicking right now. You know, I would be like, well, we're way too invested in here. And I would be looking to get as much of my operations into, like India or somewhere else that's not communist, basically. Okay, so there was some iceberging at oh 07 half that the treasuries seem to be reacting to now. But the my spot in ES is not super great. You see that they're not. Did I get? Oh, I had to reload things so I can't see it anymore. I think that I got it, but I don't know. Manufacturing jobs are moving to robots. That's the main reason why manufacturing jobs are changing demand for workers. Look at Amazon. Well, yeah. I mean, things are going to get cheaper, though. Bum, 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 bum. Although it was interesting, they did a study about, kind of where some of the problems in this economy have come from. And one of the things that they looked at was like the automation and stuff like that. And it was a factor, but it was not as nearly as big of a factor as I think we all believed before. And the study indicated most strongly that it was merely the cycle and the constant economic volatility that we've had from Europe that has been the biggest driver of problems. Ace says he's going long now. Well, I certainly don't like where I'm at here. But the treasuries still appear to have some risk appetite. I wonder if somebody knows something. So my problem right now, well, that sucks. My problem right now is that I thought I had a signal in the ES, but I can't. Like, I had to reload the data and I can't see it anymore. So I'll kind of wait and see if they give us another one to go short somewhere. Mm. So that we're now kind of where they were before they took that little dive before the I think that was before the news, right? Right here? No. 6:30. I may well have to move this. I think we might see something at 09. It's going to be difficult to know when to take the profit on this one. Look at that. So that appears to be some profit taking right there. Anthony Sacramucci told CNBC on Thursday said China is doing a better job than the U.S. in laying out its longer economic goals as the world's two largest. I wouldn't listen to that guy. Honestly, I wouldn't listen to a thing that guy says. Because he is primarily interested in self promotion. And so he's going to say the thing that would be like the most news driving and probably most critical of the president, in fact. Yeah, he says there's your daily 2 points, but I didn't catch that. I was still in the short when it was the long, and so I missed it. Yeah, stay in if you want, but the open is close. And I'm also, well, I think that they do need to buy up a little bit, but the way that the treasuries are moving up makes me concerned that there's some news out there that we aren't aware of yet. He means 2 points on the E-min. He went from 74 to 76. Made 8 ticks. By the way, is the stream quality is okay for you guys? You might have to change like the quality in the quality settings, but there should be less delay now. Okay. Still having a little bit of trouble holding 08, but there's certainly enough willing to buy it. When I had 5, that was 1.5 pounds of raw meat per day when she had 5 kids. Look at that. Okay, so the E-mini just did something. It's too close to the open though. Well, I usually get out on a zipper, so I think I should take it. Devros is my son, says, what's up? Hey, thank you. Thank you for joining us on Twitch. Let's check. How many people do I have on Twitch? It doesn't tell me. It says 14 overall. We had a lot of people watch yesterday. Not as many today. Only one on Twitch. You're the only one. Well, thank you. Anyways. You just got like a cool cat. It's with sunglasses. Well, darn. As soon as I move it down, they're like, oh, we don't want it anymore. I got a good spot in the queue. I think I might still get filled. In fact, I could maybe consider pulling it right there. Because that's already showing us like that tick down was a false breakout. Only 94 orders bought though. Okay, there you go. Thank you. Okay. Probably here in a second I'm just gonna want to get long again, but there we go. 78. That's right. I really want to go short this thing over here. Interesting. So I cannot have the tick data loaded correctly for an 8 range and a 16 range chart at the same time. If I do it on the 8 range, then the other one gets messed up. Restream bot, we were all just telling about our most embarrassing moments. Your turn. Okay. So what's going on here? Okay, so DevRels, what we're doing is we're trading Treasury futures, and we're waiting for 6 minutes here. The equity market, basically the New York Stock Exchange, is about to open. So we're kind of biding our time until it does that. This right here is the S&P 500 index futures, these two. So I'm kind of stocking it because we had a good move up here in the Treasuries. Initiate. That's the secret word. I'm not, you know what? I'm just too deadpan to pull this off. If I was crazy and zany, we could like have a lot of fun with this, but I just don't know if this is going to work out, guys. Nobody else, I feel like I'm all by myself. Nobody else did anything crazy. That sure looks like a short to me. Come on. Play some songs. Well, you know what? Every time that I try and play songs, YouTube gets upset. So I stopped doing that. Besides, some of the other traders out there might be listening to their own peaceful music, and if I'm playing music over here, that interferes with their music and then they can't listen. So I think after having experimented with that a little bit, we decided that it was best to just not have any sound. We get this clicking noise, right? And we need to be able to see that. So what just happened there? They were offers. His taste in music is as bad as his taste in hairstyles. Oh, you don't like Anjuna beats? If you do not like Anjuna beats, there's something wrong with you. Deverall's is talking to Restream Bot. So just in case you're not catching on to what's going on, I stream to multiple platforms, and I have a bot that relays messages between them. So Ace and Win are talking on YouTube, right? And Deverall, you're on to Twitch. So you can talk there, and it will relay it, but. There's enough going on if you were on a trade without music, right? Yeah. He gets it. So we really have to say Ace trades laugh my ass off, right? Okay, so that is the exit signal for sure. So we got 08. That's good. We're good. I'm sure his taste is fine. I'm telling you. I'm totally into the electronic music, and in electronic music especially, label is everything. Label is so important. Oh, Deverall says I gotta go. All right, well, check out another time or visit my YouTube channel. I have a couple of tutorial videos and give you a better idea of what's going on. It's a little, I don't know, I haven't been doing as good of a job explaining to new people lately because we've just had so much going on. Okay, now the treasuries are coming down. The most successful female financier was Moses' mother. She went to the bank and floated a profit. That's so bad. Oh, Ace, you still have it long, huh? I want to see. Well, are they going to go up here and try and get this naked point of control? 2896? I still kind of want to short it, but now that the treasuries are coming back a little bit, maybe not. I'm hoping here the E-menu will just give me another one because that first one was not, didn't quite work out the way that we wanted it to, did it? So something I'm noticing is that there's still a lot of activity on the offer in the treasuries, all of them. Look at that. Okay. So volume is a little less clear than it was yesterday, but it is slightly selling so far. He says he got out. See, as long as these offers continue, because it looks to me like the big players are trying to push it down so that they can get filled long in treasuries. Somebody really wants to buy, and I don't know why. It might not be, it may just be a, just in case sort of a thing, but and they're selling still. Yes. So there's your break. I was going to pull back a little bit. They look about ready to just collapse. Nope. It's too much. Too much trading there still. What was that? A bit. Well, I done goofed. One more. That actually kind of seems to indicate long to me. Now you're really getting a big spike in the treasuries. Maybe the treasuries are going to turn down now. Yeah. Yeah. That was a pretty decent amount of buy-in there, guys. But now overnight open. Treasury's not giving me anything. Ace Seth, was that noise you getting in a trade? I've never been able to figure out your Dom. I did try getting in a trade there. So when I'm in a trade, oops. Like this right here, you see a blue order right here. Man, it's just going. might get a short here because that's overdoing it. Well, they just broke the overnight high. I'm not getting a signal. Damn it. Why is it moving so fast? Oops. That's not what we want. Fetch. China, US plan to hold talks again in next 2 weeks. Oh, I see. Nope. Jeez. Treasuries are getting creamed. So this is curious. I wonder what it was with all of the buying before the E-mini open. They've already spoken, and they're going to hold more discussions in 2 weeks. Well, I done goofed again. I think that this might just be too volatile for me to take something. You know? I think that we could see 29.10. That's where I should be looking, right there. But of course, it's coming back. Man, this is so volatile. What the hell? Okay. It's giving me something here. I think it is. No. It's definitely giving me something here. Come on. Can we start getting in treasuries too? Okay. Sorry, there's a lot of comments, and I'm, having a hard time focusing and reading them. But we appreciate it. The mooch made a stand. No, he did not. He did not. Let me explain what happened with the mooch. Okay, the mooch came out, and after he totally blew it, trying to be the press secretary or whatever. After he totally blew it, he tried to kiss up to the Donald Trump supporters, and they were understandably skeptical of him. So after about a year of that and not going anywhere, he decided that in order for him to continue making money and be famous on television and everything, that he has to be a really big Donald Trump detractor. And that's what's going on here. He's doing it for the money. That guy will say whatever it takes to stay on television. Okay. Well, that was pretty cool. It looks like my signal did turn out. But now where do I take it off at? You know? Wow. Kill that. This is insane. This is insane. Oh my gosh. What the hell? Wowie wow. I don't think I've ever seen the E-mini move like this before. This is just insane. What was that? Did they just take me out? What the fuck? What the? Oh, it took me out. What the fuck? What just? Did you see that? Okay, it hit my target. I'm... Okay, sorry, I'm a little shaky. That was good, but what the fuck? It looks like they took out my order, and I got the fill, the response that I got the fill long before I saw it on my DOM. That was insane. They could be moving for 29.40, 29.80. I mean, it's too volatile to try and take another trade, but what the fuck? Okay. I think with that one, breathe. E. No. M. Wow. Wait, what? Okay, Rhythmic died. I think that my broker just canceled my order. I think that they just pulled us all out. This is insane. Everybody, okay, Greg says data feed lagging. D-Feature says I'm on Trade8 and my DOM is all screwed up. Okay, so orders, let's look here. MES, limit 2910 filled. Okay, so it did take me out where I wanted. Now, of course, it's continued. And how can I possibly, well, man, I don't think that I can trade under these circumstances now. ES could have a lot more in this, though. Seth's broker only allows so much profit. No, I was wrong. I thought for a second there. So something that happens that's really weird is when I put like these stop orders, out there and everything, and when I take a profit, my broker automatically cancels them for me. And so when Jigsaw tries to cancel them, they cancel as well. So I thought that I was getting an error that my order had gotten canceled and that they had taken me out too early. But that was not the case. It was all kosher and good. But I am getting, okay. So first thing that I want to point out, okay, I understand why I'm a little bit confused now. Okay, is I connect my NinjaTrader to a demo account, and the demo data is way slow. See, look, we've already come back, and my demo still says that we're moving up to 29.30. But we've already come back to 29.22. Markets are starting to calm down a little bit. You can see here, something happened right here. That might have been my broker not putting, giving me the data. Who announced it? Was it Trump? I don't think Donald Trump hasn't said anything about it. You know what, though? It might be giving us another short there. Come on. Come on. No, too much volume right there at 2960. Wow. Both sides of this. Okay. Good. There you go. Wow. What the fuck? And now it goes. I have a bunch of stuff to say, but I just don't want to. I just don't want to miss what's going on here, you know. But I did a bunch of dumb stuff and came out on top there. So I'll explain what happened. Can't use standard skills for this momentum. No, you can't really, can you? Well, this is where the DOM reading, I think, becomes really important. Because honestly, if you're just on a chart, how do you know, and you're trying to catch little bits here and there, you know, how do you do that? You can't, because you're basically, if you're on a chart, you're basically switching over to swing trades at that point, right? 24 viewers will, new viewers hit like, it's cheaper than tipping. Yeah. Well, I tell you what, guys, make sure that you like this video, because this is probably the best video to watch on the channel. No, it's not. It's probably the most interesting market action that I've ever seen, and it probably should be the one that's recommended. So hit like and comment on the video, because we want this to be the one that they look at. I'm not entirely proud of how I handled the E-mini there, to be honest, and I'll explain why in a second, because I think I was tilting a little bit, but I knew that it was gonna. Oh man, the thing is it might not be done. Like here, they're gonna come up to the 2930, and then they might decide to go and do it again, for all we know. But it's still mondo crazy. Five-point moves in seconds. I can't believe that. Man. I don't think that a market has ever gotten me like this. I mean, I don't think I can take trades anymore. I'm just too, wow, like the adrenaline is just like, oh my gosh. Well, the thing is Greg says problem is when does China say something bad? Yeah. So I guess we can talk about this while this is still going, but the thing that I'm noticing is that this market is like just absolutely crazy based off of hopes of trade talks. And it's like, okay, yeah, so in 2 weeks they talk and then what? It's just going to be just like the other 3 times that this has happened, right? Were you on when Brexit was voted on? It was like this in reverse or election night. So I missed election night. I remember Brexit, but I didn't watch it. That was pretty crazy, though. I remember waking up the next day and I think you could go back and find the video for that, in fact. Anyways, the thing is that this market right now, this is all they care about. And there was so many shorts on the E-mini and everything that are covering this. You don't fight this. No way. For sure. You just buy it and hope that you picked a good spot. Honestly. Like my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. And you know what? It works, and I'll show you why. But yeah. That was crazy. Lucas says Jigsaw is fine. Yeah. Seth, all the data is wrong except for TT. I don't know. I think that my Jigsaw seems to be doing okay with it. But my Ninja Trader is not. But my Ninja Trader is demo data. So I think that what happened there was that they throttled their demo data so that they could have more bandwidth for their live data. Anyways, I think that they're moving correctly. Do you know the Monte Carlo effect? Toss a coin 10 times and you will a pattern emerge. I think you were on the right track when you pick a plan and stick to it as you are teaching me now. Well, so so the thing is, it almost killed me, but yeah, I came out on top. So now I think I can show you guys what happened, okay? Let me try to adjust this. Oh yeah, no, I can just show you like this. Yeah. Okay. So here I can show you it was live. Okay. There's, the ones. Okay. So I took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, almost 6. Almost 6 trades. Refresh it. And that's actually going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, $7 out. But I still made money because the one that I caught, I made $100 on. So, what does it mean? The market's moving and you know that it's moving in one direction, even if it's volatile and you're going to get stopped out, you can get stopped out 10 times and still come out ahead. Literally, you only have to win 10% of the time in that kind of a situation because your risk reward is so extreme. So here's where I say again, I mean, you still got to have an edge, and I had an edge, and I finally caught it. I don't know what I was doing. I thought that I was trading off of something that I was seeing, and it wasn't really doing it. And then I saw it, and I said, okay, here is where I do it. And then that was the one that turned out. That was the one that turned out. But I'm not proud of this. Don't get me wrong. That was bad. Bad tilting behavior. Me taking it. What's crazy to me... Well, actually... So here it was like, okay, this one was the one that we tried before and it didn't really work out. This one was a little bit earlier than I normally like to take a trade. So I probably shouldn't have taken that one. I'm going to say I probably shouldn't have taken that one. Yeah. I think that one's kind of was... Anyways. Okay, and then here, this one. Again, just didn't work out. Okay. I thought I was getting a signal, but I did not get a signal there. Okay, whatever. And then the market started picking up, and I saw the news, and I said, okay. So I started breaking my rules. I started breaking my rules, because remember I say after 4, you stop? But I knew, just based off of the way that the E-mini was ticking and what the piece of news that was driving them was, that I could catch it, and I just got to keep going until I catch it. So, yeah. I'm not going to hold that up as an example of like really disciplined trading and everything like that. But there is something you can take out of it, right? Now, if we change this around and change it to my treasury trades, which I am getting pretty good at, I made over 16 ticks today. Hallelujah. And I could have made way more if I wasn't focusing on my E-mini trade. I'd say we're doing pretty damn good in treasuries this month. Anyways. It gave us another short there, by the way, at 26. And it's giving us another buy in the E-mini, I think. Okay, well, you know what? I think that I'm like way too wigged out to be taking live trades right now. But we can do it on a sim account, okay? Tell me, please. Thank you. Yeah, 10 ticks of risk is probably not enough, but... Nope. Uzi says, what triggered this anyway? I totally missed it. It looks to me like it just kind of was a slow filter because it was moving really at a really good pace before I saw the tweets. And then I started to see tweets. So it was just kind of like as the news services caught wind of it, I guess. This is a buy. Come on. No. My problem in the E-mini is definitely the amount of risk that I want to take. Because I'm only trying to take like 8 ticks. It just doesn't work, does it? Yeah, it was the China. So the piece of news was that they had already spoken with Lighthizer and like the trade negotiator guy and the economic advisor have already been speaking, and they have another meeting set up in 2 weeks. That was the piece of news. which is why I was saying earlier, they might be overreacting a little bit. I've never seen a buy like that. I don't think I've ever had my data hit a roadblock. Although I think that Jigsaw handled it correctly. Man. No. So I'm already seeing a problem. I feel really confident in the moment that that the E-mini is going to turn up. But where can I pick a spot that'll get it? You know? They are buying this. Come on. Nope. The way the scalp robots are moving right now is pretty insane. The number of ticks. So basically every tick up and down, they're moving they're moving 500 lots around. Have you ever heard the song? I can't go in and listen to a song right now. Standard swings and rotations are the safest and best to trade. Yeah. Oh, you know, that's something that I don't have on here. Well, I don't want to go and add it because I don't want to lose this. It's giving me a very strong signal right now. Since it's a sim, let's just YOLO it, okay? Detach from the movement? What do you mean by that, Greg? Okay. So there's 10 ticks. Nope, nope, nope. Something's up. I think that was I should have expected that. So something I've been noticing is sometimes when you get a really, really good long, it'll start to go, and then they'll go down and stop everybody out, and then it'll go. They might do this 2 or 3 times. It's moving fast. Look at it from afar. Okay. You mean kind of like try and see it on a higher time frame? Donald Trump tweets. As usual, China said they were going to be buying big from our great American farmers. So far, they have not done what they said. Maybe this will be different. Okay. That is weird. Okay, that one, again, I wasn't able to catch the spot. See, with the 10 ticks. See, oh my gosh, what the heck? I don't know, I still think you buy it, but that was a kind of a weird tweet, right? Is he even... Well, here's the thing. This piece of news that is moving the market is not news to him. I bet you that everybody in the White House is going like, what the hell? This isn't a big deal. I guarantee you that they're quite shocked that the market is reacting as strongly as they are. Hi, WM, hold on, still trying. No, you're fine. Adrian says, a day like this can be misleading on demo. I often have profit, but I know from previous experience that on real money, I would trade more different. So there's an interesting thought, Adrian, because some of those trades I took demo and some of them I took live. Okay. So live, I made $40 on the micros, right? And then 256 on treasuries. I would hope that I would trade the treasuries the same, but you could tell that totally got me uppity, didn't it? I don't think I've ever been like that. I was like a Dragon Ball Z character sitting there. There's no way it could be moving this much. This can't be right. No, it should be down. Anyways, some of those were live. In fact, I can show you here if I take off all my filters and everything. Those ones, the ones that start with a 1 were the live ones. The E-mini. I mean, here, think of it like this. Like, look at this. Okay, so that one I got 9. So if I were to take 8, that one I would have gotten. That one I would have gotten. That one I would have gotten. You see? Those two, no. So, like, my problem in the E-mini is the size of the swing more than anything. I should probably be doing like Ace and just buy. Oh, man. I wonder what Ace is. Is Ace going to come back? What is Ace going to say when he comes back and looks at this mess? Because he was so long. Where did he buy it at? Oh my gosh. He bought it at 28.74. Yes. He would have made 50 points. You would have made, he says, I'm here. You would have made 50 points if you had held that. Did you? You didn't hold it though, right? You took it off. Man. Uzi's all Nani. Yeah. I got out at the opening, it came and got me out. I just watched. Okay. As long as you saw it. I mean, here's the thing for you guys. You make money, you lose money on it. That's okay. I think the biggest thing is that you got to see it, man. That does not happen every day. That was something else. That was quite literally the best trade call I have ever seen. Oh, yes. Okay. Seth, a question. Do you have Rhythmic as demo? If so, also check ICE Exchange, like Z.BS October contract. I'm not sure what that means. Z.B.SB October contract. What is that? ZBCom trade? No. So I have NinjaTrader connected to it, right? I can pull a chart up here. Let's keep it down here. Okay. And I could search. I mean, I would have to be in here. I don't even know if I have any way to say ICE. Maybe. So what is this ZR? Oh, so I wonder, so for instance, DX, US dollar index futures. That would be a good one. Okay. Bada boom. You are correct, sir. And look at that move in the dollar index. Holy shoot. Okay. Oh, he says it's sugar. Okay. Sugar. SB. I see. It's SB. Yeah. Hey, that's super cool. I did not realize. The Rhythmic demo gives you... It was not always like that. I swear on my life, how many times that I tried to get... Well, maybe that was CKG data. I don't know. I don't know. But remember, I connect this one. It's super interesting. Yeah, sorry, SB. Yeah, I get it. That's super cool. Thank you. Yeah, no. So for you guys on Sim, the big thing that I really want to point out to you guys, all right, is that I have my Jigsaw day trader connected to my live account. Okay. I will switch it between a demo account and my real account based on the situation. Like I haven't been trading the treasuries on live because one, I don't have as much money as I'm comfortable trading in there. And also because it's summertime, and I just, I want to kind of feel out some of my changes and stuff first. But I do take the trades in the MES because, it's only a few bucks. So I did come out on top on my live account. Somehow. I don't know how I did that, but somehow. So, yeah, I have another thought, but this first, okay? But anyways, and then my NinjaTrader is connected to a demo account, and you can very clearly see, so very, very clearly, it's caught up now. But when we were in that crazy action, my live data and my Jigsaw was all fine, and my NinjaTrader 8 was like almost a minute behind at one point, I think. It was crazy behind. So, if you are on Sim, do not stay on the demo accounts. All right? Go get $500 together. Go and get yourself a live account with AMP futures, and then just trade a demo account on that, but with live data. Because when the market gets crazy, the demo data is not reliable, and you will not be able to practice that action. Yeah? And that makes sense? This is not the first. I can recall some earlier times, maybe not as big of moves, but I can recall earlier times. It's like every time that the market starts to get crazy, the demo data will go kaput. So can you imagine if you were doing like a Top Step Trader Combine right now? You wouldn't have been able to, you wouldn't have known what to do because it would just be all messed up. And by the way, Rhythmic did disconnect from me for a second. It disconnected, it reconnected just like that, but the data connection actually did die. Okay, so the other thought was I got a very clear buy signal. And I said, I want to buy it, but I just can't seem to find a spot. And I was trying to take it on demo. I think I tried 29, 24.50. 29, 24.50. See? And here was the signal right here. So it did work. And it took us to a new high. So I totally got something, but it's not going to be quite like it is in ES, in ZN. I think that what we need to do is we're going to need to compile some better statistics on this to see, how far they go, essentially. Because that was 29, 24.50, 24.50, and then the low was 22.25. So it went about 8 ticks through it first. But it was a good signal. And by the way, another thing, notice here, these are big orders right here. See how they disappeared? Important to note. Big orders not interested through that whole time period from here to here. And then all of a sudden they're interested. New high. And the cool thing about it is that they can't, in action like that, they can't hide it. You know that they're going to go. It's just you don't know what the right price is. That's the problem there. So anyways, some more comments here. Let's see here. Smash it like Hulk. Smash that like button, yeah. Give the like button. Thank you guys. You guys are so on the ball. What size do you use to filter the large orders? Good question. I don't remember. Let's look. I think it's something like 100 though. Yep, I'm doing 100. So the way that I do that, and I need to do it for these other instruments, but basically I do a study. So basically I look at every level 2 change and see how many how much volume changed there, which is a little complicated because it doesn't do it like the way that the data comes in is it says, okay, at 23 there are 1,600 bid. And then it'll say, okay, now at 23 there are 1,300 bid. It doesn't say, okay, 6 pulled or 100 pulled or whatever it is like that, right? So you have to keep track of it yourself, essentially. But anyways, so we'll do a study and see how much they change, and you get like a distribution profile. And then there's a very clear spots where you'll kind of get something like, I don't want to run it right now because there's so much data it would kill things, but you'll get something like this. Zoop. 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 And this will be like 1 lots right here. And this will be like 100. So I did that study and I set it to be to be right there so that I catch them. So I do 100 in the E-mini, and I do 400 in the Treasuries. And I haven't done it for ZF and ZB yet, but I should. That might make these a little bit more reliable. Although doing it for, I think I have it set to 100 in ZB, that seems to work really well. What I have it set to I have it set to 400 in the 5-year, and that doesn't seem to work very well. By the way, did this ever end up telling us anything? Huh. No, it did not. I really thought that this would maybe tell me something interesting, but it's just noise. They're still buying. I literally could have bought it. It even gave you a signal on the pullback too when it went back to 29.32 or so. Gave you another long signal. Insane. So let's check here on the dashboard. Oh. We actually had a decent number of people watching on DLive, I think it is. It must be on DLive. Because it's telling me 23, so that must mean that we got 3 people over there. No, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe it's just wrong. Or maybe it's come down since then. Wow, at the peak we had 27. That was insane. I should make a funny title for this. Should be like, we should change it to be like, day trader YOLOs and lucks out makes $40 or something. It's like I can't even. That's just so crazy. So we've kind of come back to reality and seen like what just happened there is just insane. And they're still selling. And they actually gave you a sell signal, right? Oh, actually, I don't know if that one would have been a good sell signal, so. Probably couldn't have taken that one. Might be interesting to only watch another nation's economic pundit talking heads for 1 week to see how our perspective changes. Yeah, well, I think you'll find that it's pretty easy to predict what they say. This is just going to keep going without giving you any kind of signal, is it? Time to stress eat? Man. One of the things that's kind of interesting to me is that I was able to catch the spots as well as I did. Because I sold it at least twice. Didn't I? Yeah. 04 half, I caught one. and 26 I caught one. In treasuries at least. So I don't know what the deal is, but somehow I am just able to. There's something to be said for just coming in and watching the instrument and being really good at the instrument. I really think that the 10-year is my thing. And if I had enough in there and it wasn't summer and everything, I would just only trade the 10-year. But the E-mini's been giving some opportunities and I've been doing okay, so. Greg says I was doing one lot in ES, felt like I had 1 million on the line. I know, right? Did you see the thing that I had earlier though, Greg? So if I change this, I can switch them between them, okay? So these ones are right here are the live account, and these are the ones where I was like, I know that it's a buy, but I don't know where to take it, so I'm just gonna not touch it, right? But what happened was it took one earlier today, didn't work out. Then took these two, didn't work out. And I said, well, I probably shouldn't trade it anymore. And then it started going all crazy. So I bought it and I bought it and I bought it. And you know what? I knew at that point that I was like, well, this is like tilt. But I also said, this is moving so much that when it goes, it's going to go and it's going to be worth staying in. So I did it and I was able to get 100. And look, I got out at 29.10. So there was another 30 points in there. So I could have probably gotten 160 if not. I mean, who knows how long this goes? This could go up all day for all we know. Anyways, I don't know what to, it's kind of a mixed bag for me then, isn't it, right? Because on one hand, I did end out on top, but on the other hand, I had a lot of losers, and I do not feel like I was just disciplined. I intentionally broke my rule because I knew it was moving. And I don't know if that's all. I mean, I think it's okay. I think I did the right thing, but it's kind of, I don't know. Your concept of tilt is interesting. You should tag it for your use. What do you mean by tag it? By the way, I haven't been tagging my trades, have I? I didn't do that yesterday either, but I'm pretty sure that almost everything has been reversals. Journal queue. I kind of don't want to do it anymore. Well, there are times when you trade pace. Amor fati? What's that mean? Winston says amor fati, not FOMO. Love of fate. Describe an attitude in which one sees everything that happens in one life, including suffering and loss, as good or at the very least necessary. I see. Interesting. What do you mean by you have a following like a trademark? Or is that a question? I don't quite follow. I'm working on ideas. I know some people who do cool stuff and want to network channels. I'm trying to build a channel for my ferrets. Oh yeah. we watched your ferret. So whenever I'm talking to my wife and we're like, cause I was talking to her like, when this girl, she comes in and she comments a lot and it's been really useful to the channel. I don't think you understand when you comment on those videos, like YouTube sends people into the video and it gets crazy. It can like double the number of views that a video gets, which is super cool. Anyways, and she was always like, "Who? Oh, you mean the ferret lady?" Because she looks up the comments and watched the ferret videos on your YouTube channel. Oh man, I totally forgot about this rock volatility thing. Boom. What a crazy move. Oh, Greg says, I've never heard of tilt. Really? So let me explain to you the etymology of tilt. The term tilt originated from what do we call these? Oh my gosh, my mind just went blank. Pinball machines. It came from pinball machines. So when you're playing pinball, at first it was just, it was just a pinball machine. And what people would do is they would pick the table up and move it, or slam it to hit the ball over to where they wanted. And of course, the pinball machine people didn't like that. So they built something into it so that if you move the machine too much, then the machine will go into tilt mode, which means that you can't move the bumpers until the ball goes through. So what would happen is you're playing pinball and it doesn't do what you want it to, and you get really mad and you hit the machine and then it says tilt. And it'll say it in big letters on the thing that you tilted, right? So that has been used as a description of basically when you get yourself into a negative emotional state where you just continually make bad decisions over and over and over again. So when I do that, this right here, I'm like, at this point, I was feeling pretty shitty. And I just kept telling myself, I think that it's going to go out. So I think that I took that trade because of tilt. I mean, we can watch it again, but I think I took that trade because of tilt. So, I mean, if that one hadn't worked out, it would have been down 40. I would have been super upset, even though I did so well in the in treasuries and everything else. I think that I would have been really upset with the day. And that one really good winner just kind of saved me. So I'm going to say that it's tilt, but I tilted hard on August 5th, shorted the whole day and stopped. Oh man, yeah, that sucks. Yeah. So it's become a really, really popular term in the gaming community because like I've been playing Overwatch a lot more again lately, and man, I tell you what, in that game, there's some problems with that game. They're changing something today. So there's going to be a roll queue, and hopefully that 2.2k, Greg says 2.2k of my last tilty. That's awful. I'm so sorry. But that's your limit though. I mean, as long as you the thing was when you get to your limit and then you keep trading it, that's tilt. Man, that's when things can go really south for you. Anyways, but in Overwatch, there's this whole thing where it's like, right now, you have to pick your class, okay? And so different people, they only play tank or they only play, DPS, which is the attacking characters, or healers. And the DPS characters are much more popular because the DPS is like the glory position, The DPS is the carry. Is the guy that he does everything for the team, and if he's really good, the team can it's a really easy time for the team. It's not really true, because really probably tanks are probably more important, but that's what everybody thinks. And so you get in, and the thing is you can only one person can play a character, and so there's kind of a rush at the beginning to pick the character that you want, because it's the first person to lock it in gets it. And if you have a faster computer that loads the level faster, you can get the character that you want, right? So you'll get into the game, and first thing that'll happen is like 4 people will lock on DPS. And it's like, well, crap. Now what do we do? Because we have 4 DPSs, who's going to play healer? So there's only 6 people on a team. And you're supposed to have 2 DPS, 2 healer, 2 tanks. So if 4 people lock DPS, it's a problem, right? So then they're like, okay, somebody switch, and nobody wants to switch. So then you just go with it, and then you get rolled, and everybody starts freaking out and getting pissed, Or you had a good team comp, but the first round didn't go very well for you. And then people start arguing with the team, and all of a sudden it's on tilt, because as soon as people on the team start arguing with each other, like, you're almost guaranteed to lose at that point. It's so weird to me when I play that game and you're playing, and somebody comes in and starts attacking a particular user on the team, like, oh, so-and-so really sucks. Like, really? You realize that the mere fact of you saying that thing makes you more likely to lose the match. Doesn't everybody know this? Maybe not everybody knows this, but they still do it. And then the whole team tilts. And so the recommendation in the community is usually that if you tilt, you start losing a bunch of matches in a row and you get frustrated, to stop playing, because it affects like your competitive rank and everything like that. So it's like, don't play on tilt. Huge thing in the gaming community right now. When says Instagram will start suggesting videos in a new category, what it calls event video channels. I don't know. Silencer gave me a YouTube link. I guess I can click that now.
Испытай удачу.
It's Russian. So just spam, basically. Basically just spam. Well, it looks like we've gotten back to a normal market now. It's giving me maybe a spike here again. I'm warning you. Warning me about what? And it says she's warning me about something. Greg says, so the China report is out. Global Times, U.S. maximum pressure tactics losing its mojo when it comes to China, says Chinese trade expert. You know what? The propaganda that comes out of China is so funny. What is with that? Like, the U.S. puts out propaganda. Oh, well, I clicked it, but it was a YouTube link. It was okay. When the United States comes out with propaganda, and when it's like propaganda that I know is false and I don't like it, it's kind of scary to me, because it's like, well, a lot of people are going to believe this, and it's really convincing and it's really good. But in China and Russia too, frankly, they basically just say the exact opposite of what is actually going on. And it's like funny to me. Like, how did they think that this is going to work? It's like, okay, maximum pressure tactics losing its mojo when it comes to China. And I'm sitting here thinking, okay, why are they saying this? Probably because they're feeling the pain. They're trying to influence public opinion. And from my perspective, I almost don't even care what the reality is at that point, because I know that whatever they're saying is not going to be in my best interest. USTR posts to its website list of imports from China on which additional 10% tariffs is delayed until December 15th. Stranger Things in the Upside Down 11 says when. I don't watch that show. That was crazy. Okay. I need to post my cryptocurrency notes. Did the cryptocurrencies make a move during that? Oh, come on. Bitcoin. Ooh, they got hit. Is that today? That's today. Not below 10K, but below... That 10,000 looks mighty tempting now. And given all of the action that happened around here, it is now a bar. We need to look at a different chart. I know. You know what? I was so much stuff. Somebody asked me about cryptocurrencies earlier, and I apologize. There's just too much. I can't keep up with everything. We're having fun. You guys are still enjoying yourselves, all right? We're all good. It's all happy. We're all happy. No, that's not what I want. I don't want to see trading view. Oh man, the US China got killed on that, and so did Bitcoin. No, we want Crypto Watch. So I suspect that this website Crypto Watch has a coin miner built into it, because when I open this thing up at full screen, it like everything gets slow. Okay, yeah. So definitely a sell event happening. If I move out to like a daily view, yeah, that's Coinbase. It doesn't show it quite as well. And on Coinbase, it actually still looks like they're above this whole area. But when I look at it on the futures, it's different. We really need to read the reports that are published and form our own ideas about how the markets, not just the U.S. reports, but each nation's reports. Well, you can. I mean, the thing is, let's close this. I think that one of the things that really helps is to focus on an instrument, like I'm having the problem here. You can only focus on so much at a time. So if you're in Treasuries, watching these 3 Treasuries and then, possibly correlated instruments like the ES or dollar index. I'm so happy I can see the dollar index now. I need to go and add that. But, that's like what you can handle. And then you read the economic reports that you can like do studies and there's some already out there. I wish I had the link, but it's somewhere in the Discord somewhere. There's this thing where they actually show which reports tend to move treasuries and which ones move it more. And you just focus on those. And yeah, you should read the reports. I read them. Like what I'll do is I'll kind of watch what people are saying on Twitter when they go through the reports. And then I'll go, okay, so there's a couple of weird things. And then I'll go through the report and verify that there was actually a statistically significant move in certain things. But I only do that like long after the fact, So I'll still read the squawks and everything because I don't want to miss anything that might be relevant to the trading like right then and there. But usually the market gives you a good tell about what the news means right away. So I wouldn't necessarily, I mean, the thing is if you go and you look at what are things that could move this, what are things that matter, everything matters, guys. Everything matters. And there's no limit to the number of things in this world that you could put your effort into and make a difference on, Always talk about, oh, this piece of news happened, but there's people starving in Africa. That's more, You have to pick and choose what you're going to focus on, you know? Let's see here. When Tuesday tickles the traders, a programmer is at work. When his wife calls and asks him to go to the store, she says she needs a gallon of milk, and if they have fresh eggs, buy a dozen. And he's going to come back with 12 gallons of milk. Yes. I think I've heard that one before, but I always like reading through it. I was like, if that was a programming statement, you didn't specify that you're buy a dozen fresh eggs. You're talking about milk. Okay, well, I need to just dismiss all on my trades, and I'm not going to do the journaling today, but you guys remind me tomorrow to make sure I put those all in. And let's generate the charts. And I wonder if I come back over here to my dashboard. Obviously, for the week, we're up a little bit. Actually, a lot bit. 625 for the week. But where do we get when we go back for the past 3 weeks? So from like the 29th to now, I think is what we wanted. Good deal. 200. 200 net. Actually, 282 net. I'm going to take a picture and send that to my wife. She'll be so proud of me. Can I show it with all the stats too? No. Well, let me see the stats. Yes. No, don't do that. I'm going to take a picture of that. No. It hid the stats. That's what happened. Okay. Oh, it is? No, I thought it was later. Oh well. There's nothing like a dream to... Okay, Donald Trump is tweeting about the New York Times now. All the news that's not fit to print. The New York Times is no longer the paper we grew up with. It is no longer a news organization. It is now an agenda-driven organization out to change the country for the worse, says Michael Goodwin, a highly respected New York Post columnist. Isn't it so funny that we just saw what is possibly the most insane move I've ever seen in the market? I really think that was the craziest move I've ever seen. Like, even some of those FOMC days and stuff, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And Donald Trump is not tweeting about it. It's just a little ironic, isn't it? You know what? We should tweet that. That's what we should do. We should tweet. I think it's interesting to watch something that's frustrating about the Patreon, because I post the cryptocurrency charts. And so, of course, the people that are most interested in it are cryptocurrency people. And because there's not a whole lot of interest in the cryptocurrency market, and also we're going up and all, there's a lot less people than there used to be. But it's looking good. I better quit the mints. Wait, let's see here. One says craving and chewing ice is often associated with iron deficiency with or without anemia, although the reason is unclear, at least one study. And yeah, my wife likes to chew ice and she has the iron deficiency. Okay, so there we'll do some early 20th. I guess I should take this time to thank those. I've had a good a dozen people or so that have been contributing to the Patreon for almost 2 years now. And super grateful to those guys. And of course, they are getting something out of it. But I'd say it's telling us something right now. But I don't tell you everything about it. You have to subscribe. Otherwise, you have to wait for a week to see what it says. But if you want to trade cryptocurrencies or invest, I wouldn't say trade, but if you want to invest in cryptocurrencies, I would highly recommend checking it out. And again, hit that like button if you haven't hit that like button, man, because this is going to be a good video. In fact, if I hit the like button, let me come back to come back here. By the way, did you guys notice that the delay was less today? Did that make a difference, or that the delay was less? There we go. Well, there you go, right there. It's only about a few seconds delayed. Oh, we did get a lot of likes today. I'll go Lover says he's still around. Yeah, it's time for me to go, though. Do you have some targets for us before we go? I'd love to know. I would love to take another, now that we're here around, like the 2920 area. Yeah, around the 2920 area is where I think that would be, maybe if I got a buy, it would be great. Greg Orlowski says 1080. Okay, so yes, so I did change the stream quality. And I don't know why, but the auto, it does it for, it wants it to do 240p for some reason, which sucks. But then if you go in and you change the quality to 1080, then it's fine. Okay, JB says I'm getting a lot of garbled speech today, as if your ISP can't handle when you are uploading. So JB, do you remember what I was talking about when that happened? He has just broke this for a deeper pullback on deck. You know what? Something I should do is I should pull up my... router here and see. There's no way for me to see further out, so I can't see how much data I was actually using at that time. That sucks. He has just broke this for a deeper pullback on deck. Oh yeah, they are falling. And the treasuries are going right back up. When I look at my nails later this afternoon, they look Have you ever looked at your nail luminals? I don't think that my nails look good. So you can you probably can't get a good and a clear enough view of my nails. But I have like they're not very smooth. There's a lot of ridges on them, and then the kind of the darker reddish area up here is not super clean and even on them. Yeah, I think that because of my... Okay, so JB says shortly after 8:50. Okay, I'll check. We'll see if it made it to the video, because it could be, there's no way to know which end it was on and all that sort of a thing. I can see I did still get frames missed due to rendering lag. So I'm still getting like some streaming issues. I'm starting to wonder if it's time to build another machine and build a stream machine. And I could I don't know what. I think what I would like to do eventually is get rid of that big cabinet thing behind us, even though it's beautiful. But I think I want to get rid of it and put another computer along the backside. And then if I can somehow, I don't know how I'd do this, but would like to be able to have something that doubles as both a stream machine and a video editing machine. Lean, mean Seth machine. I could just make a super cheap streaming machine. Put it in I would want it to be really quiet though. I don't know. But I just don't understand why I get the rendering lag. I think that it has something to do with... Okay. Something's happening here again. I should go. Anyways, we'll check it out. So anyways, thank you guys all on everything. I think I've given you all the closer stuff, except for stay profitable.